Hi everyone, this is Margaret Manning with 60 and Me. This is the place where women over 60 come to be inspired. My guest today is Lynn Slater. Lynn is an author and an academic, and she had an interest in fashion and expresses it in a blog that she writes called Accidental Icon. It's a fabulous blog, and I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome, Lynn.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Lynn, as I said before, I've been a follower of your blog for a while because you just have a very interesting approach to fashion as it relates to an older woman. And I'd be very interested in you sharing with us how you got started with how you became the accidental icon.
Okay. Well, how to start the story?
Yes.
I am actually, as you mentioned, an academic. And yet I have always had a very creative life that has gone along with that. And so I wanted to find a way to express myself a bit differently. And over the last, I would say, maybe 6 or 7 years, I've taken courses at the Fashion Institute of Technology in clothing design and jewelry fabrication, just kind of trying to find my way. So At some point about a year ago, I thought, well, given my skill set, a blog might be a really good place to start. And at the same time, I was starting to get more rebellious, I would say, with what I was wearing. And I kept getting a lot of feedback. People would stop me on the street, and many, many people said, you should start a blog.
And you did.
And I did.
Let me ask you a question. I love that word rebellious. And I'm looking, as we talk, I'm looking at your earrings and I'm just amazed at them. I guess they're beautiful. But my question is, what was inspiring you to become more rebellious? What was happening in your mind when that word started to describe you?
Well, I have to be honest about it. I have always been rebellious. Okay. And I have always challenged the status quo. And I think that some of that comes with my personality because of the era that I grew up in, where we were challenging the status quo in every possible way.
Yes.
I think I was raised in a very religious family, very hierarchical. Mm-hmm. So it kind of really sowed some of the seeds of rebellion. And then my choice of profession, right, which is social welfare, which is constantly challenging the status quo. So in a way, it was a natural and inevitable occurrence that I would rebel when it came to what people thought I should be when I got older.
Yeah. Well, I think also what you clearly are demonstrating is that clothes are a way to express that quality of rebelliousness and individuality. And I'm hearing in my mind a lot of the women in our community, we have like 50,000 women now in our 60 and Me community, saying to themselves, I could never get away with that. What would people think? And how do you respond to that? How would people think?
Right. Well, I think there is a line. Uh-huh. And one of the things that someone once said to me about Accidental Icon, which I really love, is they said, you're not eccentric, you're exciting.
Yes.
And I think what that comes from is that I still have to every day move in a very professional world. I have to go to conferences, I have to teach courses, I have to go to meetings. And so I have a line that I go for, and this is the best way to say it. When I walk in a room like a conference or a board of directors meeting or something, everyone in the room will say, she looks different from everyone else, but as much as I really want to, I cannot actually say she's inappropriate in any way.
That
is my line.
Yeah, it's a great line. So when you look at your closet in the morning, when you decide what to put on, do you sort of choose some basics? Like, do you have a classical foundation to the way that you dress, and then you accessorize, or how do you build your wardrobe?
Well, the vast majority, I would say 99% of my wardrobe are white shirts and black pieces of clothing, trousers, skirts, jackets, dresses, etc. So really, in a way, black and white is sort of my uniform, but I really mix it up with how I layer things. I love to layer. My earrings are another trademark of Accidental Icon. I don't wear much other jewelry, which is why I think I can get away with the big earrings because it's the only accessory that I actually wear. So I think those would be my two. I have a lot of basic black clothes, and I choose them because of the beautiful tailoring and the beautiful quality of the textile. And so in that way, I'm conservative. At the same time, I'm rebellious.
That's really interesting. I actually interviewed a lovely woman. Maybe you know her, Judith Boyd.
I do.
Judith is wonderful. Style crone. And she's lovely. And we actually talked about this topic and about the fact that, if you have a foundation that is not like purely classical, but it is fundamental, that really is your true essence, you can then let the quirky side come out as appropriate. Like you said, not maybe at a conference, but at a party or at a dinner, you can let your clothes talk for you.
Right. Or even if you are going to a conference, what I have found is that I get a lot more engagement. And a lot of it is because people are captivated in a way by what I'm wearing, because everyone else is wearing very traditional suits. So I get a lot of interest in who I am. And then that gives what I'm saying a little bit more power.
It's very interesting you should say that, because I wear hats a lot. I wear berets. I love berets. I have them all different colors. And I find that when I wear my hat, people smile more often. They, like you said, engage. There is something about when a woman expresses her individuality that's attractive. I mean, would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And I think I have a quote on my blog by Yoji Yamamoto, who says that a woman who's so interested in her work, who is really, basically I'm paraphrasing, but he's saying she is so into her own essence that she can look beautiful in a pair of well-cut pants in the same way someone else might look beautiful in a gown.
This is what I love too about your blog, Lynn. It's really got a lot of quotes and statements that just are reflective. Like it's about, if you're a woman who, I don't know all of them, but if you're complex, if you've got a passion for, living in these two worlds of, the business world and so on, that these are words that inspire you when you go to your website. So I'd encourage people to go and check it out.
Thank you.
I really do. And also, I guess my question, because I can hear the voices behind me asking this, is that, is it okay for me to experiment? Is it okay to look like, a bit kooky and out there? Is it okay?
Well,
as an older woman?
First of all, I would take exception with looking kooky. I mean, I think if you feel kooky, then go for it. But I think that I have a more serious side to how I dress. And I think that's why some women feel that it's not that far. It's a bit aspirational, but it's not off the deep end.
Yes.
And so I think that's one of my strengths, is that my outfits, I don't know that anyone would characterize them as kooky.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting. We did an article recently on the women of advanced style, you know, the New York women who are fabulous, and they've all got amazingly big personalities. And the comments were very interesting. They were, I wish I could be like that. You know, I wish cheer her on. She's doing great, but I would never wear that. I'd feel like a clown. And I guess you've got to find, like you're saying, the thing, right, the line that you will walk across and still be you, not feel phony or fake.
That's exactly right, because the clothes will feel you.
Yes.
And they will not drape well. They will not present well if you are not really owning them. Mm-hmm. I think clothes, there is something I talked about recently called situated creativity, where a designer designs with the idea that their clothes are nothing until they're on the body of a particular woman.
Yes.
And I find that to be very true with clothes, particularly the clothes I wear. And I think, you know, for those women who say I can never be like that, do not feel bad about it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? That works for them and they do it magnificently. But if it doesn't work for you, you have to find what does.
It does. And I think, as we spoke about in another video, your clothes say who you are. They speak for you. They deliver your script, I think is how you said it. And if you're not wearing the clothes that you're comfortable in, that will impact your behavior and the words you say, how you feel. So you might as well choose exactly what suits you and feels good on you.
Exactly.
Well, what you're wearing now looks great on you.
Exactly.
I feel like I need to put something.
That's the whole point of this time.
It's lovely. It's lovely. Lynn, thank you so much for these words of inspiration and advice. I really appreciate it. And tell people to check out your website, The Accidental Icon. It's great.